Merry ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to QI's Christmas party. To celebrate this most magical time of the year, we've conjured up a show absolutely heaving with Hocus Pocus. Waving their fairy wands tonight are the bewitching Graham Norton. The mysterious Lee Mack. The wizardly Daniel Radcliffe. And, of course, my glamorous assistant, Alan Davis. So, release your incantations, gentlemen. Graham goes...
Hey, presto!
Very nice. Lee goes...
Abracadabra.
Daniel goes...
Expelliarmus!
And Alan goes...
Please.
That was the magic word, wasn't it? Yeah. So, Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy with our first question. What is the oldest trick in the book?
Can we take these off
You can
now?
take them off if you're hot.
Otherwise I'm going to have a sudden desire to sort out my pension.
So, what is the oldest trick in the book?
Abracadabra.
Debbie McGee.
Sure! Shame on you, Lee Mack.
It's Christmas as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Was that charitable?
Not really. I'll take that back.
OK.
Is it an ancient Greek book?
It's even older. Ooh.
Egyptian?
Egyptian is the right
I
answer.
think I might have...
You might know
It's
this?
about a man called Dedi.
Dedi. How do you know about Dedi? You're right.
He was a man who did the first magic trick, which was, I think, a decapitation of a goose.
You're right.
And tore it off and did it to impress the king. And it's in an ancient scroll.
It
which
is?
I do know the name of. I think I do.
Yeah, go on.
The Westcar Papyrus.
The Westcar Papyrus. This man is brilliant.
Is this... I did... I should say, you know, I have
Do they
had... Yes, they do. There is a
They
certain
teach
amount
this
of...
in ancient wizardry at
Yes,
Hogwarts.
they do,
don't
absolutely, yes. I don't want you to...
This is going to be a very short show.
Next question, come on, I'm not about the jokes, it's all about points for me.
It's all about points.
So I like this idea that when you get cast as Harry Potter, they give you a crash course in as much wizardry as they possibly can, and then you just top it off with a bit of acting at the end.
Can I just ask, what part of pulling a goose's head off is a trick?
Well, no, sorry, yes, and then restored it.
That's the point.
And he was
Oh, that's
very
the
sorry,
key
yes,
bit.
that's
That's the
trick.
point. It's a
Oh, the old two geese in my bag trick.
Has to buy new goose every week.
He did it for King Cheops in 2600 BC.
Of course.
The great pyramid of Giza was the Cheops.
I think King Cheops going, seen it.
He did a goose, as you rightly say, then he did a duck, and then he moved on to an ox, and he would wrench their heads off, and then they would be restored. But you may say, I want to see this trick. If this really exists, I want to see it. And that's the point, is it is the oldest trick in the book, because it's recorded then, all that time ago, happening nearly 5,000 years ago, but it's still done today. And do you know what? We have a magician who's going to come on and show you that trick. All right? So, but first, ladies and gentlemen, it's Christmas time, we have to summon him. His name is Scott. So let's say Accio Scott, all right?
It was also mystical till then, wasn't
Yes.
it? His name is Scott.
It's a fine name. He's Scott Penrose. He's the vice president of the Magic Circle. So, after 3, 2, 1, we go Accio Scott. We go 3, 2, 1.
Accio Scott.
Whoa!
Oh, my God! He wasn't there, and then he was there! What happened?
It's magic, Lee. Isn't it wonderful? Scott, welcome.
Lovely to see you, sir.
So I believe you can do the deady trick that Dan told us about.
Yes,
Would you
indeed.
like to do it, please, with
Well,
your...
we'll give it a go with Norman. We just give him a little bit of a...
no.
There we go. Just pop his head back on. There he goes.
Brilliant. Fabulous. The sensational Scott Penrose, ladies and gentlemen. There you are. The oldest trick in the book.
I think the other thing I think about that trick is that it's the first time a trick was done that was purely a trick, and that wasn't done as a, you know, some supernatural power was involved in it. That was the first thing that was written down as
a trick, rather.
well.
Yeah.
I can do the first half of that trick. It's really tricky the second half. I practice.
It just won't go back on.
Just won't go back on at all. There's blood everywhere, and my wife's screaming. Children are running out of the house. Where's our budgie? It's horrible.
But was it a trick? I mean, so, but...
What's
if
it
that, was
a trick?
if that was really the very first trick ever.
We know
Well,
of.
if we went
It's
wrong a
written
few
down.
times.
Surely people did pull my finger before that.
Maybe. The oldest trick in the book involved pulling the heads off Egyptian animals. So, what might go wrong if you tried to catch a bullet in your teeth? I say. Is that you, Lee?
That's a good-looking lad, whoever
Yeah.
they are. It's the danger that you will end up turning into one of Britain's top light entertainers.
Oh, so charming.
There is something about your teeth get knocked out, isn't there?
Well, there is that danger, I would imagine, if you were really... I mean, how does the trick work? Do you think someone fires a gun into your face?
No, but is there something about if you don't open your mouth properly, then the bullet would break your teeth from the other side? Because presumably the bullet comes from inside
It's
your mouth.
secreted in your mouth in some fashion. Yeah,
So-
but there are other dangers, and there have been disasters in the past. In 1869, Dr. Epstein, who was a magician, and he used to tamp the gun down with the end of his wand, you know, in this sort of magical fashion, and he left a tiny bit of the wand in, and so he had the bullet in his mouth, and when his assistant fired the gun, the bit of the wand went out and killed him. So that can happen. The other
But it
thing
must have been amazing being in the audience. You'd go, God, this is good. What's going to happen now? The blood's spurting from the back of his neck.
Well, there was a man called Raoul Curran in 1880 who made the mistake of doing the trick in the Wild West. The drunk fellow said, "Oh, if you can stop bullets, stop this one," and just shot him straight in the head. Right in the forehead. And killed him, stone dead.
Sort of serves him right, though.
Yeah, it's a heck of a heckle.
It is a rubbish trick, isn't it? Everyone who watches it must go, the bullet was in his mouth.
Well, it's going
There
through.
are
There's not
some
one bit
amazing
where you go,
ones.
I wonder if he caught them.
There are some amazing ones, though. Like Penn and Teller do a really
Yes.
like it's frightening, and and they get the bullet from the audience, and it really does. I mean, I know it's a trick, but I do still. Just
You're right, and Penn and Teller are amongst the best.
I remember there was a bloke who disemboweled himself. I think quite early on in the days of conjuring tricks, they were all fairly sort of gruesome things, like beheading. The way it would work, I think you'd have kind of a sheep's intestines and a prosthetic chest and stomach, and then behind all of that you'd put a metal plate, and this guy did it one night and he forgot to put the metal plate in, and just ended up going straight through himself and then dying. And so it's not funny but true.
Yes.
But that's important.
You'll never make that mistake again.
No, he won't. There was a Chinese performer called Chung Lung Soo, and he wasn't Chinese. His real name was Robinson, but William Robinson. But he performed under Chung Lung Soo and only spoke a sort of cod Chinese, never spoke English on stage, ever, until a terrible moment when he did the trick with it. And in the bullet, or the fragment, went into him and killed him, and he spoke English. He said, "Oh, God, something's gone wrong. Close the curtain." Those were his last lines.
Do you reckon there's a real magician called Chung Ling Soo in China that goes under the name of Bob Robinson? And he'll only speak cod English. Pick a card, any card you like. I don't mind. Pick a card. That's when it went wrong, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I've got you. Anyway, yeah, if you are tempted to catch a bullet in your teeth, don't. You should, in fact, just probably disappear as fast as possible. But first, describe the great Lafayette's last and greatest disappearing act. There is the great Lafayette. You've probably not heard of him.
No.
Even though he was the most successful entertainer in Britain.
Did he make his giant horse disappear? Turn it into a dog?
A lazy dog.
Is that a motor vehicle?
It's an early motor vehicle, yes. He was sold out 10 years in advance. That's how successful he was. He earned £44,000 a year, which is the equivalent of about £2.75 million a year. He was hugely successful, incredibly famous. He was kind of the Liberace of his day. He wore diamonds, and that dog you see there was given to him by Houdini and was called Beauty. And he had a private railway carriage, and so did Beauty. And Beauty had a little porcelain bath and his own china and crystal, and, yeah, a bit camp, I agree. And then Beauty died, not surprisingly, being overfed. And he insisted that he was embalmed and buried, and they said at the cemetery, well, only if you promise to be buried there as well, because it's a human cemetery, not a pet. And so he said yes. And 4 days later, he did die. A lamp got upturned and the stage caught on fire, and the audience thought it was part of the trick. And by the time they realised it was a disaster, 11 people had burned to death. And including, and this incidentally is not funny, a midget in a mechanical bear suit. I'm sure I prefaced that with it isn't funny. Anyway, it's just so...
You are sick.
They are sick. Anyway, they found his body, cremated it, the bits that weren't already cremated, obviously, and then they pulled the theatre down where this disaster had happened, and they found another body, and they realised from the diamonds on the ring that that was, in fact, the great Lafayette.
They buried the wrong man?
Yeah, they buried the wrong man. So he'd been burned and buried, and then he'd been magically restored as another dead body.
That's very, very good.
It is good, it's a good trick.
That's very good.
Yeah.
What did they do? Did they...
They had to get rid of the old one.
It's Beauty, I feel sorry.
Yeah, I know.
In the afterlife going, who are you?
Anyway, yes, you can go to Piers Hill Cemetery to this day and you can see the great Lafayette, who was now sadly forgotten, but in his day the most popular performer.
I'm more saddened about the poor other guy. What happened to him? We've all forgotten about
Well, the thing is, you see, the reason is, part of his magic thing was that he would appear and disappear very, very quickly because he had a lot of stand-ins, doubles, who were exactly like him. So he would, like, go off stage and then suddenly still be on stage. It's because his stand-in in the same costume had gone. He just was very, very good at that, which is why one of the stand-ins had been buried in his stead, I suppose. So the great Lafayette's final trick was to turn up intact 3 days after being cremated. Now, from testing spells, you'll like this, to spelling tests.
Good.
Good. Yes. Good. I before E, fingers on buzzers, excepting after...
Please.
C.
No, that just isn't a rule. Why isn't it a rule?
Because of
words where...
words where it's not.
Yeah.
E becomes
Because of the
before I have to
exceptions
C.
Because there are more exceptions to the rule than the rule itself, by quite a long way.
Who has counted?
Ceiling.
They've been counted. Would you like to know?
Ceiling one.
God.
Yeah, there are 923 English words that have a C-I-E in them.
Do we have to name them all?
No. you're let off, but name
Happy
some.
New Year.
Ceiling.
No, that's C-E-I.
C, yeah, that's what you said.
No. The rule, the supposed rule is...
except after C.
But I'm saying, in fact, there are 923 which break that rule.
Receive, receipt.
So hang on, if it's I before C, E except after C,
Yeah.
we're looking for words where E follows C, aren't we?
No. No. The rule is it should be C-E-I, according to that.
See,
Oh, but you're saying it's wrong.
There are 923
I know
examples.
one, which it isn't.
Yeah.
Ceiling, that's not one. Ceiling isn't one. Ceiling isn't one of the ones you're looking for.
Yes, I want the ones I am looking
That's
for.
right. So I will repeat my answer and I say not
Lee,
ceiling.
I'm looking for the ones I'm looking for.
You're looking for the ones
Yes.
you're looking for.
So give me a C-I-E.
Ceiling?
I may explode at any minute.
C-I-E.
Receipt is C-I-E.
Yeah, those are the ones that conform to the rule.
Okay, the rule is looking pretty good right now, because...
Glacier. Species.
yes, but now I know them, and I didn't think I knew it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The point is there are lots and lots and lots.
923 words.
These are ones with EI without the C in front, obviously, as well as the CIE, concierge.
Oh, you don't even have to have a C in it now.
No, they're EI. Are you incapable of rational thought? You cannot be that stupid.
You've really...
You cannot be that stupid.
Stephen, can I just say, you really are going to have to work on your Bruce Forsyth. Are you really capable of rational thought? I mean, really?
This is not
I tell you.
game. This is
Are you a
QI.
human being? I don't think you are.
No. Work it out.
These words don't count. They're not even English words.
Well...
You can't have hacienda and concierge.
Yeah, but there are... The point is, there are 21 times as many words that break the rule than don't.
However, if you want to spell ceiling...
If you want to spell ceiling...
Remember,
or receipt.
Or conceit, or
except after
deceit.
C.
Yeah. But if you want to spell veil and weird...
Yeah, but there's no
C in there.
No. It's I before E every time, except after C. But in we're, that's the
I
point.
see.
Yeah.
They're
I
You
see.
cannot be that stupid!
He said it and you're looking at me! How do I get the blame for his stupidity? I've got my own, don't you?
Wow!
Daniel, you're the only person on this show who isn't a complete idiot.
Unclear.
No, I'm sure you are.
Anyway, see
that's
them
why I'm
begins with
keeping
S.
so
That's not
quiet.
gonna-
That's why I'm keeping so quiet at this moment. It's because
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of on Lee's wavelength, but
Thank
I know
you.
I don't want to get a bollocking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's got I before E. Is that right?
Dan, God.
Who?
That is how you spell my name.
Daniel.
Yes,
How do you
you
spell
have-
Daniel?
Yeah, because it should be I before E.
Yeah, but you can't. Can we count proper nouns?
What about my surname? Am I
Scrabble does
spelling that
that.
right? There's an I and an E in there.
It's I before E always.
Yeah, always.
According to the rule.
Yes.
Yeah, but the rule's wrong,
But
Stephen.
the rule is wrong.
What?
Yes, it's now officially no longer taught in schools
Okay.
because it is so clear.
Oh, really? Is it not
Yeah,
at all taught?
it's
anymore?
not taught.
Oh,
So the rule now is it's I before E, or sometimes it's E before I.
Mostly after C, it's IE.
If in doubt, look it up, you lazy
Yeah.
git.
I before E,
Look up,
except for the
certainly.
following 923.
Yes.
Hey, very good.
And then you reel them all
I'm
up.
really, thank God for spell check.
I'm
Number one,
slightly...
ceiling.
I am...
Number two, red ceiling. Three, blue ceiling. Help me, lads, I'm running out of colours.
I am slightly shocked by my intolerance, and you'll have to forgive me, but I think we've managed to get it through. The spelling trick I before E is wrong on so many occasions that schools have stopped teaching it. That's enough of lessons. It's playtime, you'll be pleased to know.
I'm very pleased.
Good. In which game is it the aim to throw a ball like this into a goal like this?
Quidditch.
Ah.
I thought it had to be.
No, this is from a genuine, real-life world sport.
Aztecs.
No, but that's, you know, I mean, it is an... It's
Mexicans.
Are we
It's
looking
not
for nationality
Mexicans.
or a game name?
It's actually a French game, and it's actually rather recent. 1970 it was invented.
Oh.
It's very similar to Quidditch. It has a
Full of
goal
fair
almost
ideas.
identical to a Quidditch goal. In Quidditch, what do you travel on?
A broomstick.
A broomstick. This is...
Very painful.
people
Yeah, but
do-
that is special effects, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not
That's
real.
very, very painful.
Big
Is it
magnets.
painful? So why is it
Can I
painful?
just say that this is a little bit unfair, that my questions are, what is I before E except after C?
That wasn't
His
your
questions
question.
are,
What do you do for a living
how
for
do
the
how
last
do you
10
fly
years?
around in Quidditch? What are the rules?
No, that wasn't the question. That was just simply
just a-
me
I'm
asking.
not getting
you.
points for this.
No, he's not.
What's kind of odd is that if you catch the snitch, which
Yeah.
is a ball in the films, you win automatically.
Yeah.
That team wins.
So you could win straight
So
away.
it doesn't matter how many points you score with the other ball.
It does seem unsatisfactory
It's
in that,
funny,
in
isn't
that
it?
respect.
Yeah.
It's
also
almost like
annoys
it's
me
not
how
FIFA
far-
regulated, isn't it?
And also, how far you can go away from where you're playing the Quidditch.
That's true, I'd
Yeah.
not thought of that.
That annoys me.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
will I have a pick?
I'm sorry, you're right. Just to return to this one, this is called horseball, and it's played not on broomsticks, but on...
Horses.
Horses. And we have some footage of it being played. There it is. So it's like a sort of polo, only in the
Look
air.
how popular it is. Look at the crowd.
You grab it. And there you are. Through there, that's a goal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be only interesting if only the horses were allowed to catch.
But that's actually in itself apparently based on, or at least very closely related to, a game called pato. Pato being the Spanish for duck. Instead of having a ball, they would have a basket with a live duck in it. And they would throw it. And it became the national game of Argentina under Juan Perón in 1953. He declared it the national game over soccer, over football.
I love the idea that, you know, after the hand of God thing, they said, look, let's just make this a sport.
But what about Quidditch? Does anybody really play Quidditch?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Various American universities have now got, like, Quidditch clubs.
Hundreds.
Quidditch Society. Really, are there
Hundreds of
and
them,
hundreds?
yeah.
And it's a lot less exciting than in the films.
They're running round with
Running
a
around
broom between their legs.
and catching and, yeah, it's quite... It's great if you're in it, I'm sure.
If you're in the sweeper position.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's called Muggle Quidditch, not surprisingly, because they can't fly. And there are over 200 college teams in America, the Intercollegiate Quidditch Association. So, horseball has similar rules to Quidditch, but the players ride on horses instead of broomsticks. Which of these would you rather have on your Quidditch team? A Muggle, Hagrid, or Dumbledore?
Is it the one that looks like Julius Caesar who's about to be sick in a bucket?
I don't know which one that is.
On the left.
Oh, I see, yes, it does. I think that's Dudley, is it?
Yes.
The point is, in a lot of J.K. Rowling's work, the words are real, and Dumbledore is a real English word, as is Hagrid, as is Muggle. And I want you to tell me what they really mean.
Dumbledore's going to be some sort of a term for a village idiot, I think.
Well, funnily enough, yes, it became that. In Thomas Hardy's Under the Greenwood Tree, it means a slow simpleton. It's used as a bit of a Dumbledore, but actually it has an original earlier meaning, yeah?
Is there not a Hagrid reference in one of the Thomas Hardy books?
There may well be.
I don't know, one of the Thomas Hardy books. I don't know which one.
I've seen
sure
the longer form, Hagridden, I've seen many times, but start with...
Monster-like.
Start with Muggle. Do you know where the word Muggle might first have been
Sounds
used?
like some sort of woodland creature or something furry.
Actually, it's an American Jazz Age word. It's a drug.
It's a marijuana.
Marijuana is the right answer. Muggle was a word for marijuana, for cannabis, and indeed more particularly for people who smoked it. They were muggles. Really? People who smoked marijuana were called muggles.
That's hilarious.
Now you're wizard.
Yeah.
In New Orleans...
They're all getting stoned going, Quidditch is really boring.
In New Orleans, 1920s, that was it. But what's the next word, then? We've got Hagrid, which is used in Thomas Hardy, you're right, in the Mayor
I've
of
seen it as a
Casterbridge.
longer form, Hagridden.
Yes, Hagridden. Yeah. Very good.
Try that.
Clever of you.
It means... Hagridden. Oh, it means a bony old horse.
It's a mare.
It's a nightmare.
Yes.
It's a nightmare involving a horse. No.
Was there something chasing through?
If you had bad dreams, you were said to be hag-ridden.
Oh, that's great.
That your witches had come to you in the night. You were hag-ridden.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, to be Hagrid.
Is that a drunk person not finding the toilet?
Well, it's a... since records began, that's horrible. When people sleep...
They'll feel terrible when they wake up.
That's a relationship that's not going to survive, isn't it?
When people sleep badly these days, they think they've been probed by aliens, but before the idea of aliens came, it was goblins and witches and demons and hags. And that's what Hagridden means.
What's the horse doing?
That's the nightmare.
He's operating the video.
Very good.
With his big hooves.
So that leaves us with Dumbledore, which, as you say, has been used to mean a slight simpleton. There's the great Gambon. But it had an earlier meaning, and the first half of it...
Dumble.
Dumble. Think of a rhyming word for dumble.
Jumble.
Mumble, mumble, crumble.
Mumble.
Not mumble.
Mumble.
Ceiling.
Crumble.
Don't try me too hardly, Mac.
Stumble.
No, you...
Bumble.
Yes.
Bumblebee. It's a type of bee.
It is a bumblebee.
I've redeemed myself.
Yeah, there were different ways of saying it. A daw means a humming insect in Old English. So a Dumbledore was a bumblebee.
That's great.
That's what the word means. It's rather nice.
Wow. That's great.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Pleasing.
I can't believe I didn't know it.
No.
I'm really annoyed.
There
I missed out on more precious points.
But you did well. You got some points for knowing it was in Hardy. Yeah. But how did Hogwarts tackle drinking problems?
Is that a character, drinking problems?
No. No.
One of the old ghosts.
Harry Potter in a goblet of special brew.
Alan's working.
The word existed before the book, then.
Yes, you're on the right lines.
When the hog finds that the creeks run dry, there's nowhere to drink.
No, it's drinking problems
Get some
of an
mineral water
alcoholic
from the
sort.
It's sailors.
Yes, it is, in the US Navy. Very good. It came straight to your mind, didn't it?
Graham just said
I just thought,
sailors every now
who
and
drinks?
Yeah.
Who drinks? Sailors.
This isn't fair. He's getting questions about Quidditch. He's getting questions about sailors.
You see? No, a particular branch of the US Navy, submariners. Now, the torpedoes, right, used to run on ethyl alcohol. That was their fuel. Now, since 1914, the US Navy had been dry. You were not allowed to drink. But on board, they had 180% proof alcohol. So how to stop them drinking it?
Well, it would kill you unless you add tonic, I think.
It wouldn't kill you, no. I mean, they would add things. They had plenty of juices they could add to it, and they did.
But delicious, then.
Yeah, no.
I thought the maximum...
That's the point. You wanted to stop it being delicious or stop it, you know, you wanted to make it dangerous.
Putting it inside a torpedo would go somewhere.
Yeah, that would do it, but it had to be stored as the fuel, and it could be got at. So what you do is you add something. They started by adding methanol, known as Pink Lady, which makes you blind. And they said, if you drink this, you will go blind.
Well,
so
we've all been told things like that. It didn't stop us.
No, unfortunately, that's the problem. That's exactly the problem. Anyway, it didn't work in the Navy, so they added something called croton oil, which came from the spurge plant, known as the hogwort. So they added hogwarts juice, and that made you vomit and gave you diarrhea. But that, of course, didn't work either, because they just boiled it up and it condensed off again and they got rid of it and they would carry on drinking it. They added pineapple juice.
And also, regular alcohol makes you vomit and... that's a night out, isn't it?
That's probably true. That's probably true, but that was the role that Hogwarts played, anyway. J.K. Rowling, in interviews, when it was pointed out that there was such a thing as Hogwarts, said that she thought she'd made it up herself, but that maybe she'd been to Kew Gardens, and seen Hogwarts, and it just kind of registers in the back of your mind, as these things often do. Anyway.
I have visions of J.K. Rowling with a bottle of medicine.
Rowling.
I made it up, and if anyone's just...
Rolling.
Where's that brain
Rolling.
machine?
Rolling.
Rolling.
What did I say?
Rowling.
W before O, except after R.
Like bowling, not like howling. It could be either, you're right. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm not picking on you, Lee. I love you deeply. During the war... Sorry, mustn't overdo it.
It would
During
be the most...
war...
If you were picking on me, it would be the most middle-class way of picking on anyone. I think we'll found it rolling like bowling. Stop the bully!
During the war, American sailors used to drink torpedo-fueled cocktails, though the Navy tried to stop them by adding hogwort oil. Now, here's a Harry question. Why does the Doomsday Book contain so many empty villages in Yorkshire?
Expelliarmus!
Is it called the Harrowing of the North?
The harrying of the North.
the
In fact, the harrying, it's like a harrowing,
okay.
but it's the
And
harrying.
this is, my understanding of it is that there was basically in the city of York, there was an uprising against the Norman troops that were there. And then, basically, all the people in the city kind of realised that they were actually vastly outnumbering the York soldiers.
It's right. You're doing well.
But then I think there was a decree sent by the king after this uprising happened, and everything was burnt from sort of like 100 miles.
You sort of got the salient points. Yes, William the Bastard, as he was known. Don't be put off by a young person knowing more than you, Alan. You must be used to it by now.
I'm just mucking about, so
No,
sorry.
That's okay. So what did he say? What is it?
I was listening.
Yeah, you see? Oh, you're in trouble. No, yeah, the harrying...
We weren't concentrating, we were thinking about 10-pin bowling, weren't we?
Well, the harrowing of the North, for those at the back...
Yeah.
was the worst example of genocide. Genocide. Oh, you're in trouble. Because it's Christmas, I'm going to be very lenient. No, it was actually our worst ever act of genocide. What have you done? You see?
That's a tit,
Yes, tits. Fabulous.
tits. Sorry, what about this magic thing?
Yeah.
Max says,
Yes, people from the north were ruthlessly killed.
Oh. You say ruthlessly with the war cry of "It's rolling as in bowling!"
Exactly.
They killed them, sir. They killed them in the north.
They killed them. The Normans slaughtered 1 in 10, everyone in the north, 100,000 people. And those that survived mostly died of starvation or lived in
But little did they know how good we were at breeding.
Yes, but it did take decades. It took decades. It really was laid absolutely waste. And it's called the harrying of the North. It sounds like a sort of gentle, oh, I'll give him a little harrying, but it was actually a vile moment. Anyway, that's harrying, but what about pottering? What creature was the subject of Beatrix Potter's first work?
I bet it's not Peter Rabbit.
Is the right answer. It
Thank
is
God
so...
you stopped me.
Would you have said rabbit?
I'd have said, is it not Peter Rabbit?
No.
I would have said rabbit, yes, I was going to say rabbit.
No, the surprise is that actually her first work was not a children's book.
Was it the book that they based the film Boogie Nights on?
I'd so love it if I was saying, yes, and that's 100 points! How extraordinary you should know
Roller Girl was based on Beatrix Potter's mother.
No, it was a serious work of botanical, as it was then called botanical, it's now a mycological study. What does mycology, does that mean anything to you? No,
The study of people called
that would be interesting in its way. No, it's fungus.
Fungus.
She was something of a genuine
Why did the
scientific...
mushroom go to the party?
Because he was a fun guy to be with. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's what she did. She wrote a book. It was presented by her uncle to the Linnaeus Society in the 1890s. Why by her uncle? Why not by her?
Because she was a woman.
I'm afraid that's the case. And it took them 100 years to apologise for the slight. For the
And also, she was a mushroom expert. Who wants to meet her? Well, do you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, talk to Beatrix. She's great on mushrooms.
And she couldn't even do the joke, could she? She couldn't say, but I'm a fun guy to be.
No, that wouldn't make any sense. But she did then write a story for the son of a former nanny about Peter Rabbit. And it started with the words, once upon a time, there were 4 rabbits called...
Flipsy, Bipsy, Dopsy and Flopsy or something.
Close, but not... Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail and Peter. They know. Yeah. Exactly.
And she wrote that after she's had a massive bag of magic.
And she did the illustrations, of course, and the recipients said, this is so good, you should publish them. And indeed, she did, and became a gigantic success. So much so, in 1903, Peter Rabbit was the first merchandise licensed toy ever, with, you know. So
Is
she
it fair to say it
began it all.
outsold her mushroom book?
It did, it so did, yeah, very fair to say. But she lived in central London, and if you go to Brompton Cemetery in the fashionable West London, do you know what you see on the gravestones there?
Massive rabbit.
No.
Lots of mushrooms.
You see the inspiration for some of her greatest works. It's quite fun.
Jemima Puddleduck.
Not that, but
Big
there's
bag of crap.
Peter Rabbit. There's a grave for a Peter Rabbit, spelled B-E-T-T. There's a Jeremiah Fisher. There's a Mr. Nutkins. There's a Mr. Brock and a Mr. McGregor. All there. So it looks like
All
she
in
was
the same
when she was
grave?
looking for names, she just wandered around and chose them from the gravestones. Anyway, Beatrix Potter was a rather successful botanist before becoming a children's author. Her first publication was about fungi. Well, that's it for magic. Now, with the tricky bit, it's general ignorance, fingers on buzzers, if you please. When should you open the first door on your advent calendar?
Abracadabra.
Yeah.
1st of December.
Oh!
I didn't say December the 1st.
Nice try to get out of it. No. It's the 4th Sunday before Christmas, and that can be one of a range of days between November the 27th and December the 3rd. Bodies, you open it on Advent Sunday.
To be honest, I don't usually have one.
No, don't you? No, well, you will. As your children grow up, you will.
Oh. Yeah,
you will. They'll love them. They'll love them.
Yeah.
I just stopped getting mine.
Did you stop getting them?
Yeah, I thought 19 was then the last one.
Right,
Of
right.
20. So you've got to buy them 20 years' worth of advent calendars.
Can you get like a Kelly Brook advent calendar?
Not. That's very bad. Very bad.
That's quite creepy.
Remember we used to go to pubs and they used to have the peanuts on a card?
Oh, yes. And there'd be a naked
As you
girl.
pulled them off, there'd be a girl beneath it.
Usually in some...
Encouraging the blokes to eat more nuts, get more nuts.
Yeah.
Johnny Vegas told me that in his local pub in St Helens, it was a topless pub, and if you paid an extra 50p, she'd dip it in the pint before she gave it to you. Hey, don't shoot the messenger!
Please.
How erotic.
Yes. Well, more often than not, Advent actually starts in November, not on December the 1st. So, who would like to pull a Christmas cracker? I've got one. They've even got your names on. That's Lee's. And that's Alan's. And there we are. We passed it on. You see the names there. One for Graham, one to Daniel.
With each other?
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah,
Go on,
yeah,
there you are,
yeah.
do that.
Oh, there, you do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've lost twice. Great.
Great.
Oh, I got
Well,
mine.
give him one of the jokes, Alan, if you'd be so kind.
No way.
Oh, you must. Let him have a joke. So, Graham, would you like to read your joke?
OK, here we go.
Oh.
Did you write these?
Are they good?
It just sounds like something you might write.
Oh.
Knock, knock.
Who's that?
To.
To who?
To whom, surely?
That's a good joke. Oh, dear. Lee, what's your joke?
Knock, knock.
Who's that?
J.K. Rowling.
Hey!
No, what cheese do you use to coax a bear out of its cave?
What cheese do you use to coax a bear out of its cave?
Come on, bear.
Come on, bear! Brilliant.
Come on, bear.
Come on, bear! Come on, bear! Very good. Very good.
Is that really it?
Yeah. I didn't even know birds like cheese.
No, I'm not going to fall for that one, Lee. Daniel.
Who is the most famous married woman in America? Yes.
What? I didn't hear that.
Mississippi.
Mississippi. That's really excellent. Yeah. Anna.
What disease can you get from decorating a Christmas tree?
Syphilis.
Tinselitis.
Oh, that's very
No?
good.
Yes, it is.
Oh, hey.
Hey!
Well, there you are. Now,
Oh, that was
Yeah, absolutely.
you'll be pleased to know there's a department at the University of Hertfordshire called the Public Understanding of Psychology, and Richard Wiseman has a theory about cracker jokes, which is they should be bad. Why is that a good thing? Alan.
Who's speaking?
I'm wishing you hadn't had that methanol now.
Jokes should be bad.
Yeah.
Is it because
Why should
to
they
make
be
us
bad?
feel
That's what I'm asking.
superior?
Sorry?
To make us feel superior.
Well, no, it's sort of the opposite.
It's because they've always been bad and we don't like change.
Partly that may be, but also his theory is that almost not everybody will always find a joke funny. Therefore, the moment you tell a joke, at a party in particular, you're dividing the room into two, those who liked it, those who didn't. And sometimes it's nobody likes it and the person who tells it feels bad. Whereas if everybody knows the joke is a terrible groaning joke, it's everybody against the joke. So everybody's bonded. So, yes, cracker jokes are bad because they are, and that's why they're not bad. So that's it for this cracking QI Christmas. Let's just check the scores and see how we're doing. Oh, my goodness me. Well,
I think I've done very
it's
well.
really exciting because winning on his first appearance with 10 points is Daniel Radcliffe. And in second place with 4 points, Graham Norton. But it's pretty tight below the salt. In third place with minus 18, Lee Mack. And just in last place is our stable donkey, Alan Davis, on minus 19. Well, it would be no kind of Christmas party if it didn't end with tricks and japes and larks of all kinds. So, have you got a trick or a jape lined up, Alan?
I have something, yes.
Ooh, who are you going to play it on?
If I could ask Lee to be my Debbie McGee.
I'm not falling for this again.
Take it away.
Come on.
Oh.
This is my equipment, Lee. If I could ask you to lie in the box, your head at that end, please.
This is like the time you told me to smell your hanky. It's chloroform.
Oh,
joke.
chloroform, thank God.
All the way back, if you don't mind, sir, all the way in. Just tuck yourself in under there.
I've gone soaring. I didn't see that.
Just look this way, concentrate on the audience, smile at the audience. You're very happy, you're relaxed.
Oh, yeah, I'm having the time of my life.
Are you sure you're all the way in?
Are you sure you know what you're doing? Oh, hello. I can see why Phil Jupiters wasn't invited on this week. Ow! Ow!
Maybe I should have had Daniel, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that would have made more sense.
I can't feel my legs.
I used to play a magician's assistant, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Try
Oh, that's the bit.
Just try and relax.
Oh, my God.
Whoa! Yes!
Are you ready? Just relax, it won't hurt at all. Are you all right?
What?
I said, are you all right?
Hey, cross me that, you cut me belly, you know.
Wow.
Oh,
Brilliant. Oh, don't worry, you've worked with all the professionals, haven't you? Douglas Bader and Evan Mills. I'm under stress.
Let's just see, can you... Is his arm? Yes.
The arm's not the bit I'm worried about.
Yes, that's perfectly fine. Here we go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this has worked...
Oh, my word!
Oh, yeah!
Brilliant! Alan Davis and the glamorous Lee Mack, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. All I can say...
Oh, God, surely you don't leave it like that.
You just hang there for the moment, Lee, and we will see. It's going to be hard to top, boys. Can you do something similar?
Well,
Graham.
Come with me, Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, I say.
This did seem like a good idea. So,
Right.
if you want to
Shall I?
kneel down there.
Right.
There now. Okay. This feels very wrong, doesn't it? Children are watching and sobbing. What's he doing?
They're crying.
He found Dorothy, now he's killing Harry Potter. Okay.
Daniel, you have...
You right there?
Yeah, that
Daniel, have you
feels about
finished
right, yeah.
both of the Harry Potter films by now?
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
They can usually finish them without
Yes.
you.
I'm so bad at this, I was about to lean through. That's not... you all right there? Are you comfortable?
Oh, yes, it's lovely. Thank
Okay,
you.
nothing can go wrong. Wouldn't it be awful if you... No, because you know what I mean? We had the stuff about the bullets and the fouling thing.
It could go wrong.
And suddenly there'll be some story about... And then Graham got distracted by a bright light. And oh, that was dead. No. Have I done... I think I've done it all right. You live on in films forever.
Drum roll.
Okay, here we go. So, 3, 2...
On that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Graham. You saw it here. It'll be on YouTube before you can speak, but my goodness me. On that bombshell, it's thanks to Lee and Alan. And it's thanks to Graham and the late Daniel Radcliffe. And a very Merry Christmas to you all. Good night.
More QI coming up next, and then at 11:45 we're back on site for Dig 1940.